Let's move on to a Class 4 now, race 2 of the day, and the distance is 1,000 metres. There are quite a lot of debutants at the meeting in total, and this race consists 6 debutants and 1 or 2 that have only had a couple of starts. Duke Y, we know a bit about him. He's got blinkers first time. Victory Power taking you further. Now the newcomers, Flying Genius, who's by All Too Hard. Here Comes Ted by Per Incanto. Lucky More by More Than Ready. Moon Peaks by Sha Tin. Next Model by Stratum. And Victory for All by Holy Roman Emperor. Haven't seen a great deal of oversubscribed. And then we go down the bottom to Excel Delight, who is having his first start for the season. Now Chun Fa taking you further. Victory for All and Nice Fandango. What have you got track work and speed map wise here, boys?
Well, the speed map, I think we probably should say that with 6 horses on debut and 1 only having his second start, there's going to be a lot of variance here, I think, in this. But Lucky More with gate number 14 will get the benefit of the outside rail. I think he'll go forward. You've got Next Model there, who looks like he's been a good beginner in his recent barrier trials. We know what Nice Fandango does. And Flying Genius from gate number 2 potentially can get across to the middle. But with 6 debutants, all sorts could happen.
Here's one of them, Teddy. Teddy on the inside there. Here Comes Ted.
It's a good movie, that.
Yeah, he's going nicely there. Well, no, he's hits the line very strongly. I thought about something else there for a second. But anyway, a nice piece from him. Lucky,
keep it clean.
Exactly. Lucky More goes well. Now, this horse has trialled really well, and he's got the outside fence. You can see he's under absolute strangleholds there as Lucky More. That's him in the blue saddlecloth. Really wanted to go a bit faster in that particular gallop. And Next Model, I thought was a nice piece of work from him as well. He's had a couple of trials. He's at 11, 20 pounds with a cross nose band on. He's the one against the rail. And I thought its work was quite nice with Breeze of Spring. I'll give a chance to later on.
Yeah, quite a bit of early money for Breeze of Spring in place betting anyway. All right, let's have a look at some of the exposed form. Victory Power, 7 seconds from 19 starts. Duke Y looks to have returned quite well. And Victory in Hand, I made a case for him here, but he weakened out. He's probably worth another chance, but he does need to lift. Yeah, I've got him in again, Victory in Hand, but Victory Power, the first of them, he just couldn't go with Allied Agility on this occasion. His probably best chance of winning was when he was just beaten by just a very short margin with Meridian Genius a couple of runs ago. Duke Y ran on okay there as well, so I've got all of those runners in.
Blinkers go back on, Duke Y, so I'll go on for the first time. So it'll be interesting to see how he does down the straight there with those. Look, I found a spot there for Victory Power because Meridian Genius did frank that form running well. It's a lot of trial form to look at here, or trials to look at. Let's hear from Zach Purton, who rides a very interesting newcomer in Luckier More.
Zach Lucky More looked good in his 2 trials that he won in Sydney. You've ridden him in his Hong Kong trials. What have they been like?
Yeah, he's trialled nicely over here. He's done everything right, and he's ready to go to the races.
Was his grass trial better than his dirt trial, did you think?
No, I thought they were both nice trials. One wasn't better than the other. Yeah.
Drawn 14, first step. Do you feel like he's in the right race, first step, to be a winning hope?
Yeah, well, he's a bit of a deceiving horse. He blows quite heavily after his trials and after his track work. I thought by now his wind would have cleaned out a little bit, which was why Danny's been a little bit patient for him for this race and not rushed him to the races. But, 1,000 metres up the straight first time looks like it should suit him.
And he does look like a horse with good natural speed.
He's shown speed in his trials, yep.
He's a colt as well, temperament-wise and those sort of things. What's he like to ride?
He can be a little bit hit and missy. Overall, he's a relatively kind-natured horse and easy to handle, but when he's with a work partner, he can become quite competitive.
What do you make of him, Paul? Both the approach of Lucky More it is, and Zach Purton's approach to that interview.
Yeah, he was playing it down, but we can see Zach there. He doesn't normally get too excited about any of his rides. But
actually, I feel more confident when he plays it down more. Actually,
I think this horse will win. Barrier 14. He's trialled well. He looks good. He's very speedy. He's had 2 trials. He's 11, 10 pounds. Nice big strong horse, and he trialled well before he got here as well. One of his trials, he did run second behind Mr. Stunning as well. That's not a bad.
That was on the all-weather. I thought he trialled particularly well there too.
Yeah.
All right. So a fair bit of confidence around, you would think. For the 6, taking you further, had the 1 run and unacceptable performance. He did over race. What do we make of his return to the trial track.
Yeah, he's had this trial at Happy Valley. He was pushed out a bit in the trial. He was quite keen last time out. He just didn't have anything to go on over the final stages. He went out favoured on this occasion. You can see the rider was getting up him over the concluding stages here. I couldn't put him in, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was able to bounce back.
Yeah, I didn't put him in either. I'm happy to watch him go. I think he might be a little bit better at Happy Valley as well. That's where his win was.
All right, Adonis goes around in the first. Moon Peaks for Johnson Chen, of course, owned Werther, has a newcomer here, an ISG.
You know, he's had 4 trials, this horse. He's blinkers on, tongue tie on for the first time. He's quite a big horse as well, 1175 pounds. I thought his best trial was on the all-weather, this horse. He's by Schwarzer. Look, I didn't put him in. I think he needs further with that breeding.
All right, let's go to a trial now from Oversubscribed, who has the hood going on for the first time. Blood in the trachea on debut, so probably fair to say, I would have thought it's hard to get a guide on him on that.
Yeah, he went round at 12 to 1, so he was thought of in the market a little bit last time out. He began well in this recent barrier trial as he did first up. I thought there might have been some improvement here, so I'll be interested to see what price he goes round at. He's at nearly 30 to 1 at the moment because he went round in the market last time out.
Yeah, he was on debut, wasn't he? I haven't got him in, but he obviously won that trial at Happy Valley. Be interesting to see how he runs.
Yeah, fair bit of trial form to sift through here, Paul. What did you come up with?
Yeah, I've come up with 3 the first starters of my 4 selections. I've gone with Lucky Moore on top. I just think this horse is really, at the moment, he's a very speedy horse, 11, 10 pounds with those 2 trials under his belt. From Victory Power, he looks, he's run second 7 times, so that speaks for himself. Flying Genius, one horse we haven't talked about. He's 1131 pounds, tongue tie on him. He's had 2 trials. One of them he won. That was at Happy Valley, and the other one he did run a nice trial as well down the straight. And next model, cross noseband and hood goes on him. The informed Ben So from Barrier 13. He's had 2 trials, 1120 pounds, and I think he's a chance as well. So and he's at 50 to 1, 6248.
Yeah, I've got the 6 on top as well. Lucky Moore for Zach Purton and Danny Shim from gate number 14. Flying Genius, we saw him in that trial with Lucky Moore. He's certainly got some speed. I think he'll be right there. Victory Power for another placing. And Victory in Hand, I think, needs to be put in again as well. His head was on the side down the straight last time out, but he does have some ability in the rider to drop the whip last time with him as well. So 6, 4, 2 and 11.
Yep, I think it's fairly obvious there's a fair rap on the 6, so I'll be tipping him as well on debut. But an interesting little race, no doubt, with a whole heap of first starters. All right, we'll take a break here on Racing to Win. Plenty more coming up on the other side.